Welcome back to another episode of Stationeers. I'm Rever, and in this episode, I would like to get us a filtration system. Right now, I have a couple stairs being built that I'd like to place in, and as a matter of fact, I don't even have my iron frames over here, but this we'll put in a little bit later, but we can come up here and see that. Here, let me turn on the light. I know it's awful hard to see in the videos, but if you look, I built a skywalk, I guess you might call it for the time being. Eventually it might become a roof, where I ran a heavy cable all the way across this. I think I may have ended the cable here for now, but we have a few extra heavy cables on us so that we can get power over to this area. So I leveled out the ground a little bit, and I even dug below slightly because we're going to want to run some wires underneath of there. Most likely we'll keep the pipes up above, but in any event, there we go. There's the start of our thing. So I think I have most of what I need to get started. So we'll see. I would like to leave, two wide corridors here. The greenhouse is going to be like right here. So this would be two. So this would be like the first place that I would probably place down a atmospheric kit. And you have a couple different options on it. One is, well, the one we want is filtration, and this is the direction we want it facing, where we'll have our input pipe on this side, and boom. So there you go. So I probably should have had, can I jump that? Oh yeah, I can jump it. All right, let's just walk like normal people. Not to act like a teenager. All right, there we go. I should have had, it's already twice in the episode that I've wanted iron frames or iron sheets. So we're going to put those on us. And the reason I want those, let's switch these around. I need to weld up a couple more of these. There we go. Nothing else so I don't fall in the drink. And it's already, I'm going to probably need that new row sometime soon. There we go. So I'm going to turn this off. And let's turn on the light because it's getting to be nighttime. All right, so now we have our filtration unit. What we're going to do is come out of the filtration unit with a pipe and let's see, there's the next thing. Let's switch over to a tank. Now the tank is the goofiest thing to place. Like you could put it in the ground. It doesn't really snap like other things, which may be good, but so what I want to do is put this close this way. Yeah, so I also want to put it just where we just put a T right here. So I need more pipes. And we'll spin our T around. So there you go. So these are relatively high pressure. You still have to keep an eye on it. They can still explode if you just run your system and let these fill up. That's why a lot of guys end up putting sensors on them down the road. But after that, so what we're going to do is set this up, probably to do the CO2 first, but I'm going to run all of them at one time. And we'll put another straight pipe here. I haven't worked this out 100%. And probably put a turn pipe here. And then let's come over here and actually let's get those sheets out of our hand. And we're going to put a regulator, and that's the wrong direction. But if you notice, this is where having the regulator, this is where you really want to be able to switch direction by rotating. So do you want your power on this side, or do you want your power on this side? Well, we want our power on the other side. So I'm going to spin this guy around. And if you look, your arrows are going, well, now they're going in the right direction. Wonderful. So I'm going to hit plus, boop. So there we go. So now we have a pressure regulator, and what I'll do is switch back over to have some pipes, and we'll put a 90 on here. we go. And then we're going to put a canister holder. That went easier than it normally does. I don't have any canisters on me, but what we'll be able to do is come in here and we'll be able to, turn on our canister holder, or turn this on and fill this up whenever we want. If it's off, it won't fill these up, but we'll be able to filter out some CO2. I didn't make the filter cartridges yet. We can do that a little bit later. There you go. So now what you do with these things, this is, if you look, you can just hover over this, filtration filtered, so whatever kind of filter goes in this unit. This is the input, so I'm not sure exactly how we'll do the input, but chances are we'll have a pipe coming down that will come from our greenhouse, and we'll have a pipe that comes from over here. So let's go ahead and put a, I want to put a T on this one. Oops. And the reason for that is coming off of here, you know what, we're going to go, we don't have one thing I think I want. I want to make an area that we can do put one of the cans that we get, like if we have the CO2, we want a drop place. I'm going to put a volume pump on here, and I need more gold. In case you were wondering, it's probably about 3 or so game days later, just sitting here and smelting stuff, and I went mining a little bit, but mostly I've just been smelting and making stuff that we would need. I think we only need one of those for now. Though down the road we may need some for the greenhouse or something, but so I'll go ahead and put our volume pump. We're spinning it around the other direction. There we go. So now I don't think I mind. I don't think it'll stick out any different. Do I want to tuck it in? Nah, we're just gonna stick it. So do I not have any pipes? What the heck did I do with my pipes? I have made plenty of pipes though. Matter of fact, I may even take 2 stacks. Is there anything else? Yeah, we could take the transformer now and the power controller. And there's our other supplies for building the rest of it. We can even take a canister, since we have the root. So what we'll do is we'll come over here and plop a canister, and this would be our CO2 canister down the road. And I'm going to put just a 90 on here. And I didn't get another canister holder. It's all right. We can do that. And we'll rotate it just so it fits this way. There we go. So now when we come up with, say, a canister from our waste, we could put it in here and just dump it in. We'll have another pipe here. That will run over from, say our furnace, and we'll run it over from our greenhouse. We'll probably run it over to this wall shortly. And that would be the intake into the system. And then what we need to do is, this is the unfiltered gases. So like it's only going to take, say, CO2 out of this one. So what we'll do is spin this this way. Yes. I went too far. Let's spin this. Yep, that should be right. So then what we have to do is put up our second unit. So I didn't bring a second one. Yeah, these don't double stack, so they're a bit of a pain. There we go. We'll just take one for now. I'll build the rest of this off camera just so you guys don't have to watch like repeated. So this one is in the first section of this one. If you look at each one of these is 4 sections. So this is kind of an in-between section. Then there's 3 inside of the thing. What I want to do is put this guy in the middle section. Make sure you turn him to filtration unit. I love not doing that. That he's facing the right direction. So there you go. So as I go along, power low. What I'm going to do is I just could plop each one of these down by counting the number of sections that I need. So hopefully this whole thing is long enough. But before I run out of power and die, let me just show you how we'll get it from unit to unit. There we go. So whatever comes out of this unit, it's going to go right back into that unit. Let's go get another battery. And then we can go up top and hook up our power. Since we have to do, I didn't do anything over here as far as that goes. Let's go F. Close both of these. Open this one. Fan's actually faster to get to that. There we go. All right. Talking about some other things I did, I think I added an extra storage locker. I put a storage locker in there so that I could stand in there without opening the door all the time. And we got stackers, so I think that's new. So make a big difference if, instead of spitting out each coil, it'll spit out 100 or 50 of them at a time. So, and probably the biggest necessary improvement to be able to sit there and just constantly work. Let's turn on our jetpack. We have our little electrical system, and I extended that out.
Power critical.
Why is power critical? Oh, because I switched it. Let's get rid of this. Let's do 4. Let's turn off the jetpack, which is what I meant to do. So there you go. So now, instead of having 3 when we left, we now have 8 solar panels. And as you can see, I mean, they probably charged up a little bit while we were talking, but I didn't have any issues with doing everything I wanted to do. So now, however, what we want to do is we want to get power up onto this thing, and since we already left a T there, we might as well just take advantage of it. Now, yeah, I think I'll just use this one. I don't think it matters. I don't know. I mean, if it does matter, we'll change it in the future. And I'll come over to here. One more and then up. There we go. Sorry, so let's jetpack again. All right, and just because I'm feeling this way, let's see if we'll just put a 4-way up here, since why not, right? So there you go. So here's our little, I don't know if you want to call it skywalk or what you want to call it, but hopefully I'll turn the light off now that the sun's back up. But I know we'll need power here to the greenhouse. I'm not sure how we'll drop power down into the furnace room, but I turn this over this way so we can get power down to here. So what I'll do is probably send this guy down. I think down below us is this wall. So I think if I were to drop it down like right here, that would be a pretty good place. Maybe, maybe not, right? Now I like this little setup the way I have it too, because, as long as you got plenty of flexibility to do it the way you want, but also this fits in there real nicely. The small transformer just stays up here, and make sure our power wires are in the same right direction. And I'm going to immediately increase this, that's decrease, up to 2,000 watts, and turn it on. We'll have there's no reason that it can't be on. And then what we need to do is go get our smaller wires, because we should be protected from this point forward. So with a system like this, it's, you could really kind of drop power in whichever way. If you notice, if we come over here, I stopped it right, there's our greenhouse. So we'll be able to drop power right down into our greenhouse. Plus we're not blocking the view from the sun for the greenhouse. So very good. So we'll have a lot of flexibility to go this way. I plan on, at this point, this will just be outdoors. So, and I don't think it blocks any or much sun from the sunlight, or from the greenhouse. All right, so that wasn't the right way. There you go. All right, so let's get the straight going the way we want it, and then we'll jump off the edge. There we go.
Jetpack on.
Control lowers you, which is at about this point we should be able to go to the ground. I'll just put this one more in, turn the jetpack off, and we'll get our power controller out. And I probably need to weld up some frames to get this guy going. All right, so let's get our welder going. Turn our light back on, even though it's broad daylight. This is a dark game in a way. And now we want the power control. So let's put it on the ground, and it still doesn't like being there. Okay, so now we'll turn it. I don't know if it makes any difference. Maybe we'll do it this way because I think the cover will go up, but it is the right direction anyhow. So now let's get our crowbar. Didn't actually make another battery for this. I don't think I need to, but once we get ready, we'll put another battery in. Now, I don't want this power to go anyplace else, so I think I'm just going to run it right along here and take it into our first unit. I don't see any reason not to do that. Oh, you know what I didn't do over here? Let me do this, because this will make... I know I'm jumping around a bit, but I'm going to take this pipe off and put a T here. Yeah, now T's won't leak at this point. Like, you know, it won't leak if we don't put a valve on here, but the idea would be that down the road, if we ever want to take something out, well, for that reason, I don't want to necessarily run the wire right across here. So that's what made me think of that. So what I'm going to do is actually go down into this one and run. It's going to be a bit of a pain, but it's one of the reasons I left these open as much as possible. And then the other thing is we're going to have to go to each one of these, and there's, you know, just screaming out to put them down underneath of there. So what I'll probably do is place each unit and then run out. I might even have to dig out some more right here. We'll see. So having said all that, I guess I'm asking that question and getting ahead of myself, because do I want to go underground here? Nah, we'll just go above. We're not. We can always put those floor grate things, which is a lot easier than trying to put these things underground. And it's not like the pipes are very awkward to try to walk across, but these wires don't seem to affect you in the same way. So we'll turn this guy in. And we need a three-way. We could do a four-way here, huh? I don't know if it makes much difference, but we'll do a three-way corner here. Oh, no, we'll do... Yeah, we'll do a three-way corner. That's perfect. See that? So it's turn on the light.
Light.
So it's going down into here, which means we'll have to remove this and remove this. So let's get our tool of removing those things. And might as well, some of these we're going to have to place, and then we're going to have to remove them. But I'll get this started so you guys get the idea. I think I can get it all from the other side. No. We'll take this guy off and this guy off. Let's leave this guy on for 1 minute. And let's get another wire out. And we don't want a three-way corner. What I just want is a regular corner. And turn it this way. So there you go. So that guy will face down into there, and we'll be able to run it along. So I think I could just take this row out. Let's see. So we'll want to get power over to it, so we'll take this one out as well. Now the pain is like, in some ways it would almost be better just to take all of these off, because you end up inside of one of these a lot of times to try to get the wire there. I'll show you what I mean. All right, so what we want down here is going to be a three-way junction, but we want to turn it like that. And then we'll do a straight right there. So you can walk on these bars, but you probably will end up falling in and becoming frustrated at some point, which is okay. So yeah, I think we want to turn that guy right there. And see, this is where sometimes it's just as easy to drop in, but then you can't get out unless you jetpack out. So there we go. That's what we want. Now let's. The other advice I would have is do as much as you can reach while you're there. Don't go, oh, I'll just go into the next one, because, yeah, see, this is what happens. You can't.
Jetpack on.
And we'll just jump down into this one. Whoa. All right, so now we're in that. Can we get out of the, we might, yeah, we can get out of that one. All right, so there you go. So I think we just need a corner here. There you go. So there we go. So we should have power to these if we had a battery in that. And then what I'll do is I'll place... Here, let's go hook up the other one just so you guys can see what's happening. I think you're getting the idea. If you don't, you'll figure it out shortly enough. Yeah, that wasn't right, was it? No. Come down here. I don't need these sheets in my hand. Yeah, pick up the wire, get more wire. Yeah, we wanted a three-way corner again, didn't we? Yeah, so let's spin this like that. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see that too well, but straight, turn this way. Can I get that in? Yep, look, I got that in under there. And that's what I'm talking about, like, because when we come on this other side, we may or may not be able to get that in there. And as a matter of fact, I think we will. And look at that, it makes our life a lot easier. We don't even have to jump down there, maybe. Change our angle a little bit. Yep. And is that lined up? Why is that not lined up? Is this in a different place? Whoa. Am I down in the hole? No, they're lined up. Why is that wire? Oh, it is lined up. I'm just... Yeah, sometimes life is hard. So this should just be a corner down. Sometimes this is why it's easier to put there you go. So we're hooked up. And then what I'll do is, oops. Yeah, I hate when it does stuff like that. Yeah, can we jump in here? Go right there. Come on. There you go. There we go. So that's, 2 hooked up. And I'll just do that all the way down the road until we have 7 of these units hooked up and 7 tanks. Matter of fact, we could probably even place the next tank so you guys get an idea of... Whoa. A little hard to get there. Yeah, this may be more difficult proposition than I thought. You know what, we could jetpack. For the sake of YouTube, we'll jetpack over here. So when it comes to this next one, boom. Is that right? Yep. Let me jetpack off. There we go. So we could put another straight pipe here. Now I've seen people do it where the tanks are on the end, and what I like about this is that, it's not as compact going this way, but we could move this all over one, but a lot of times I don't have my monitor on here, so I can't really tell what's in this gas tank. And you pretty much more easily come around here and see what filters you have in there at that point. Now, I don't know that you need 2 filters, just so you know. Oh, by the way, that's a deep hole, so we need to fill that in at some point here before we end up in it. So in other words, I don't think you need 2 of these filters, but I usually put 2 in. I'm not sure if it makes any difference whatsoever. Just so you know, like right now at this point, if we wanted, maybe pretty close to this point, we could put like a passive vent on here and just vent out all the other stuff and maybe just set this up for oxygen and set this up for carbon dioxide. So, if we were really desperate or if we were just really trying to get things done quickly, we could come out here, set this up, and just get this going, with carbon dioxide filters so that we could get our greenhouse going ASAP. So, okay, well, I've gone on for quite a while. Let me cut the video, and I will come back to show you what it looks like when it's in place. And that'll be pretty close to the end of the video there. So, all right, let me finish up all the work. Okay, there is our setup. So we have 7 different machines for the 7 different gases in the game. And I've got as many air filters as I can possibly carry at this point, or gas filters. So one of the things I want to do is let's start out with CO2. So I'd like to just put the CO2 first because, I don't know, it's the most important for our greenhouse. How's that sound for an answer? And then I think the next most important for us is going to be the O2. So I'm going to put O2 filters. You just insert them right in there. Boom, boom. And then after that, I think I'm going to put water because that's going to be important to the greenhouse. So we'll skip this one because I don't have the water in my hands. Now, when it comes to making fuel, we need to mix the O2 and the fuel. So that could be an argument for putting them close together. However, I don't think it makes a difference because if we put water in the middle, it might even just give us some room to put some mixing stuff right there. Does that sound like I thought that through? I guess I am thinking it through, aren't I? All right, so we'll put the volatiles here. So with the idea that this is where we'll need the volatiles is mostly going into that furnace. We'll also use the fuel for our welder, but that'll be a little bit smaller operation. What else do we have left? How about nitrogen? Because that seems like, I don't know what you do with nitrogen. I've used it as my propellant before. And then we have this N2, which is sort of, I have no idea what we do with N2, but we're going to filter it just for the sake of saying we could filter it. And I put down a air conditioner, which I actually really enjoy doing all the time. I don't know why I enjoy it so much. I must enjoy it because why else would I do it, right? So consistently. There we go, filtration. I swear that just said filtration. Yeah, build filtration. It must have changed. I don't know. All right, so we need to get an active vent, and we need to go get the rest of our filters, and we also need some more canisters. So if you look over here, we have our whole row of canisters, And we don't have a paint color for every single one of them, but some of these, they do give you some paint. So we can start coloring some of these canisters. I did make, I think, enough canisters. First, let's get these before they end up rolling away. So this is our poisonous gas. And there's the water ones. So that should be all of the different filters that we need. And why don't we put this guy away. And we can come over here, and I put some of the gas cans in here. So we'll just set this out here. We'll set one of these guys down in our nice flat area. Well, let's set two of them down. All right, so now we have different color paint. The yellow paint is just the color that they are, so I kind of wish they gave you something else. Now we're going to spray this one white, and we'll use white for oxygen. And we'll spray this one red, and we'll use this for the volatiles. And this is another canister that we could put down, so let's swap it with the... Oops. All right, let's do this. And this, there we go. We can put another one of these down. Let's get the red one. We'll put the red one up here. There we go. And then there's another canister here. And what other color paints do we have? We have blue. So blue, I think, obviously will be for water. Green. Green should probably be for the nitrogen. And then there's the yellow. So we don't really, we don't really want that. Now notice our propellant over there is green. So that could get a little bit confusing. And once we get the greenhouse going, we have some options for, some other stuff. So let's just see. I don't seem to have all of the ones that I want. Oops. Turn the light on. Now this is a can that has junk in it. I don't know if we want to mix this up right now. This has nothing in it, and that has nothing in it. Okay, so let's take all the ones that have nothing in it, and we'll head down here, and we'll put them in where they belong. So this one, and again, this is where it's nice to be able to come right there and say, okay, yep, definitely oxygen, before you go and mess things up. Because sometimes you end up taking these canisters out of here, and you end up not, again, you don't check. It's just a little double check. So this one, we said we're going to put water in there. There we go. So now we have H2O, and this will be our blue one up here. There we go. Nice blue tank. And this one's going to be our volatiles, if I'm remembering right. Yep. So we'll put the red one in here. And I think nitrogen. Am I correct? Yep. Now nitrogen's black there on the filter, so let's just put this guy in there. And again, with the nitrous oxide, we don't have anything there. But so we'll just put a blue one. And then finally, we have our poisonous gases. Oops, F. Oh wait, nitrous. We'll do the green one for nitrous, right? Or not nitrous, for nitrogen. There you go. So we'll put the green one in there now for nitrogen, but eventually we may switch that to black, and it looks like we have an extra canister, which really won't be too extra for too long. We'll end up doing something with it. So, yep. So there we go. Make sure I didn't do something dumb. So what we can actually probably do is come over here and take, use these cans to fill this up here real quick. See, this doesn't have the whole full amount in it. Let's swap it back and turn our pressure regulator on. We should have plenty of stuff in there. Oops, you know what? We forgot to put our poisonous, and I want to get, let's check here real quick. A passive vent. Nope, we don't have anything. Passive vents we'll need more of anyway, so even if I make an extra, it's not the end of the world. And the passive vent's going to go all the way down the end, right next to where this poisonous gas goes. There we go. So stacker can be a little bit annoying when it does what it just did, but all right. So we have that one filling up. There shouldn't be any problem. We probably could have got a battery, huh? So let's turn this guy. There you go. So now what will happen is anything that goes all the way through our filtration system for some reason will just get vented as opposed to jamming the whole thing up. You could do a return pipe, and I've done that before, where you just take this pipe and feed it back into that one, but we really shouldn't be losing anything, and it kind of gets into a mess of it flowing back that way kind of thing, so... Anyway, there we go. Battery. We need to get a battery over here. And we also had this other tank. So let's go and grab... This guy is full. And I think that's it, by the way. Oh, that's something else I did in between episodes that I didn't tell you about, isn't it? There we go. So, while we're here... Yeah, this guy's down to medium. Let's... Why not fill ourselves up, right? I put this tank in, which I told you I was going to do, I think, but in any event. There we go. So that's more fuller than it was before. Or is it? I don't know. We're going to go use it as our test once we think we're ready. All right, so if we put this guy in here, turn this on, wonderful, we get a green light, means we got power to there. I probably want to turn these on first. Yep, power came on. Power on. Wonderful. Make sure, all it takes is one missed wire. Wonderful. Wonderful. And that should be it. Now, by the way, one of the things I like about the setup with dropping this down is this is kind of power hungry when we turn everything on. And it's just nice to be able to come over here and just shut the whole area power controller off. At this point, there's no sophisticated circuitry that's going to cause a problem. So let's put in one of these things. Let's go get our thing first, just in case. Our atmospheric sensor. And we can test what's happening. All right. So let's put this guy in. And just see, does anything even come out? We should see something right there, but without the pump on, it's acting like a valve, basically. So can I turn that pump on? Yep, there we go. So there you go. So now I'm pumping it into the system. So we see all the gases there, plus probably can't even see them all up, and it sucked them all through this machine. Now they're coming out of there, but we don't have any CO2 in this one. And, yep, see, it's sucking them all out almost before we could see. But so this is a small tank of H2O. We got a tiny itty bit in there. 0.6 moles. Nothing in the volatiles, which I wouldn't expect much. And we have N2 in the N2 tank, 9 moles, nothing impressive, but hey, it's more N2 than we had before, right? And we got a whole bunch of X, which we expected as well. Might not a whole bunch, but the most. And there's CO2, and there's oxygen. So what I can do, until I think I have enough for our greenhouse, is come up here, and we can switch this guy out. And we should get another jolt of this stuff. We can probably watch it come in here. Yep, see, there you go. It's 64 moles, so not sure how many moles, but I know we had over 1,000 in that other tank over there. And, it'll be good to get as much as we need I can run back and forth with the 3 tanks and just kind of keep them filled up while I do other things. And then before I get the greenhouse done, I bet you we'll have enough gas here. And then when we want to take the CO2 back out, we can turn on our pressure regulator and fill this tank up. I don't think there's going to be anything in it. Nope, nothing in it. But again, if we look at our big tank, we got stuff. So perfect. We now have a full filtration system. Do you need to do all of this to get started? Absolutely not. But you know, it's really more a matter of materials and time than it is. Once you get the ability to make that steel and you can make these tanks, everything else you could do. So if you were in a jammed up game where you don't have the 50, the cheaty ore method mod that I have in here, time's going to be more crucial. You could just set up like we did initially over there, where you just have the filtration unit and this, and you really don't need, you need solder to make this guy, but, and it's really just not that hard to get steel. I would recommend that you get steel, again, you might not have time to get all this up before you ran out of food, but there you go. All right, well, I'm going to have to, believe it or not, you guys didn't see it all, but I spent a lot of time mining and everything else, and, I may need to go do a little more mining and some more smelting before we get to that. I don't think I have hardly any iron. There you go. So this guy's full. So I just wanted to check. Probably could have brought that other one with us. But yeah, now it would just be a matter of running back and forth and dumping some stuff in here. But yeah, so I'll probably do a little more mining. I'm not going to go crazy like I did last time. Most of the infrastructure, so to speak, is in place now. We'll have to have a little bit more stuff, but we're going to next build the greenhouse, and then, that's sustainability right there once we have that. And I'll show you how to build an airlock, and we'll get a basic air conditioning and heating system in there. And we'll have a little tank fill pump set up like this that we can blow whatever gas we want, but most likely CO2 to get started. I think there's some benefits to using nitrogen for like atmospheric cooling and stuff kind of reasons. So, but anyway, we'll see what happens with all that. So I hope you enjoyed the episode. It's a bit of a long one, and take care of yourselves and have a good day. Bye-bye.